Okay, for number 23 from Chapter 16, a triple integration. This one's not too bad. It's all set up for us. So let's go ahead. We're going to start with integrating the x first. Treat everything else as a constant, then y, then z. Okay. So integrating the first term for x, this is x to the first, so it's going to, when we integrate it, becomes x squared over 2. And then we've got y, z that tag along because they're constants. And then when you integrate 9, that's 9x to the 0, so it becomes x to the first. And the limits of integration are going from 0 to y. Okay, and I'll bring back, we still got these two limits, but let's evaluate this as we go. So you plug in 0 for x, and each term becomes 0. So we don't have to worry about the lower limit, just the upper limit. So for each of the x's, we plug in the y. So we get y squared over 2 yz plus 9y. Now this one we can go ahead and put our limits on it. 0 to z, 0 to 1, and then we have dy, dz to integrate. So now we integrate with respect to y. So we get y to the third on this first part here. And then divide by 3. 3 times 2 is 6. I guess I could have combined these, right? Maybe that's better. Actually, I better do that first. Sorry. Since we've plugged this in, this is actually y to the third, right? Don't want to use the product rule there. That would make it really messy. Okay, that's better. So y to the third becomes y to the fourth. 4 times 2 is 8. So we have to divide by that as we integrate. And then we've got our z here. Plus 9. Is this going to become y squared? So over 2. And our limits are going from 0 to z. So now, so we plug in 0 for y, everything becomes 0. So we don't worry about the lower limits. That's why it's always nice to have 0 as a lower limit. Plug in z for each of these. We get z to the fourth times 1, z to the fourth times z gives us z to the fifth over 8 plus 9z squared over 2. Right? And this one we're just going to take from 0 to 1, and all that's left is dx. Wait, dz. dz. We could have changed the order, but then you'd have to change the limits, and that would be more work than needs to be done. So now we integrate with respect to z, so this becomes z to the sixth, and so we divide by the new exponent. 6 times 8 is 48, and then over here this is going to be z to the third. We're going to divide by 3, but we've got a 9 there, so 3 down here, we get a canceling, and so we get that going from 0 to 1. And again, we're very happy that 0 is our lower limit because that cancels out, and so we get 1 to the 6th, which is just 1 over 48. And then this is 1, so this is 3 halves. So that's what we get. And we need a common denominator. So 48 seems to be the deal. So we multiply this times 24. 24 over 24. So that gives us 72 over 48 for a final answer of 73 over 48. And that is that. That is, let's see, what number were we working on? 1623. Okay, chapter 16, number 23.